One of the most interesting phrases that we say in our morning prayers is "Hamechadish betuvo bechol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit." That in essence, every single day God creates the world new. And if God creates the world new, and God controls all of us, and He controls everything in the world, then in essence, we are new every single day. Now, why is that so important for this time of year? You know, if you look back in Parashat Beshalach, when the Jews left Egypt, after being slaves, they had no identity. Suddenly the miracles come, they believe in God, and they get this new sense of identity and newness. And as they're leaving Egypt, something very interesting happens. The Torah tells us, V'hinei Mitzrayim, the Egyptians were running after them. And the moment the Jews saw that the Egyptians were running after them, they flipped from being free people back to being slaves. And our sages contemplate with this idea for multiple reasons. Number one, there were 600,000 Jewish men and only 600 Egyptians. That's 1,000 to 1 odds. What were the Jews so afraid of? They had 1,000 to 1 odds, strong, able-bodied men. I'll tell you what it is. When someone is a slave to something at any point in their life, they're very vulnerable to it because they're usually very scared of it. They're scared of that struggle. Now, why is it that the Jews chose and told Moshe, we'd rather become slaves again and go back to Egypt rather than be free and live in God's hands? I'll tell you why. Because there's a benefit to being a slave. What's the benefit to being a slave? When you're a slave, you get to predict exactly what tomorrow is going to be like and what a minute from now is going to be like. Why? Because most likely it's going to be exactly the same as it is right now. There's no newness, there's no change, there's no moving on from things. Living like a Jew means living with newness and not being stuck with the old. Living like a slave is trying to feel like you can predict everything in life and getting comfort from not living with the new. We say every single morning, Hamechadish betuvo bechol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit. Who you are today is not who you were yesterday. It's time to move on from that person from yesterday. You're a new person.